What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of On the Couch with Max Power. I am Max Power. I am joined with Conjolio this week. And as you can see,
couch is still red.
The couch is still red. So last week we reviewed Halloween from 1978. So this week we decided to skip doing the Expendables and we reviewed.
I wonder why.
Because it's Halloween? Because
it's October?
It's October.
Yeah, it's October. Yeah.
So
we're still doing that.
We reviewed
Halloween
from 2018.
Yeah.
So I've seen this movie in theaters. I saw this movie in theaters when it first came out in 2018. This is your first time seeing it.
Yes, this is my first time.
As a franchise. I had watched the original from 1978 way back in the day, and then so it was kind of like a refresher for me. And you'd never seen that one. Do you remember what you gave it?
About a 7.
I think it was like a 6 or 7, right? So this one, 2018, it kind of replaces. It kind of just skips everything from those movies in between the first one and then this one.
I thought you said the second one was still canon, and then after the second one,
I thought so. But then when she mentioned that only Jamie Lee Curtis mentions that 5 people died, and that's how many people died in the first one. So that means the second one didn't count. I guess. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, there's 10 other movies that we never got to see, that we never watched. I guess we're just gonna take that out of the picture.
Sure.
Because
if they do, why don't?
Yeah. Yeah,
although so when I shared this link that we did the first Halloween on my Facebook page, I had like 3 or 4 people tell me, dude, you need to give the Rob Zombie one a try.
Oh, okay. We'll do those ones.
So we can come back to that later.
Yeah.
But apparently the Rob Zombie ones get some good love, but I'm not sure if that's because they're a fan of his music or a fan of his movies. I know he does some other movies besides Halloween.
I like his movies.
I like House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah,
right?
That's
true. That's a whole trilogy or franchise.
Yeah, there's a trilogy of those movies.
I think I've actually randomly with a chick one night. I wound up seeing that a couple of years ago, and it was all right.
They're Rob Zombie movies. Like when you watch it, you're like, oh, this is a Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah, you can tell the gore's cranked up a bit. Sometimes like ridiculous gore.
Yeah,
like the stuff like squirts out.
Yeah,
it's like it's like one of the horror movies.
But we're not reviewing Rob Zombie movies.
Not yet.
We are reviewing the 2018 version of Halloween,
which Jamie Lee Curtis is an executive producer. Go get it.
Yeah, and
light beer for the night.
They got the original Michael Myers to be. I don't think he plays actual Michael in the movie. Like when he's not wearing the mask, I think they change it to somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's the original Michael Myers, who I just was reading his Wikipedia page. He wrote Lost in New York. Is that movie? The Kurt Russell movie?
Yes.
He's one of the co-writers.
Nice.
That and he with John Carpenter. Lost in. Is that what it's called? Lost in New York?
I think so.
Survive New York. One of those 80s movies.
And then I think he co-wrote Frozen también for Disney.
Maybe. Who knows?
If I wouldn't have laughed, you might have bought it. I don't know.
Nah. I don't buy your shit. All right.
So I'm going to jump to the end.
Oh, you're just skipping the whole format. You're giving it a 10?
Yes.
A 10?
This movie was... dude.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
We've hung around for a very, very long time, especially here in your place. You've seen how many times we've had to re-record or re-watch movies because I pass out.
Re-watch movies, yes.
And I've had a shit couple weeks at work. I've been drained. I'm like in the negative as far as energy goes.
Yeah.
And I doubt it was just this Dr. Pepper, but having fresh-ish in my mind because we just saw the original like 2 weeks ago. I had the context, so I knew what was going on. And so Jamie, this is like the 40th anniversary and all this other stuff. And it takes a couple of minutes, like most horror movies, to build up some of the new characters to pass on the torch for this new trilogy that's going on. Because apparently there's 2 more. And by like the 30th minute, I'm in. Like I'm invested. Like I'm leaning forward, you know, and some of the stupidity was funny because but I enjoyed it to the point that and possibly it's just all the stars aligning because we're spoiler alert. I don't know why I'm fucking up the format tonight. But spoiler alert,
just all over the place.
We're gonna watch the newest Halloween movie this coming weekend, and we're gonna review that. So knowing that that's next, everything put together, I'm in. Like, I'm digging this.
Okay, well, before we get too excited and talk about what you liked and didn't like, plot of the movie. It's 40 years into the future, right?
Dude's been captured.
He killed the first 5 people. He disappears. They capture him somehow, which they don't really explain. And then he's just in a mental hospital for 40 years, doing nothing, just staying in that weird spot. That was a kind of cool. I kind of like that scene with the whole red and. Hey, we'll get into that part in a second. Of course, he's getting transferred.
Yeah, on the anniversary.
Yeah, on the anniversary, he's getting transferred on Halloween night. Of course,
it's on the morning because it was dark.
It might have been
the night before.
The night before, whatever.
Yeah, the night before.
And he escapes. Now, what in the whole time it's happening? What has Jamie Lee Curtis been doing?
She's been prepping. She's been training. She's praying.
She's had a kid. Her kids had a kid.
She's been through 2 divorces, and she's a recluse. She's all alone in this compound fortress dealie that she made in her own home,
which is cool.
Crash, which is badass.
She's got all the guns. She's got all the bells and whistles of somebody's going to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
So obviously Michael escapes. And he goes.
But half of what pushes this movie is a pair of podcasters.
Oh, yeah.
That are trying to break this story in the 40th anniversary about Michael Myers. So they went to the insane asylum or prison to interview him. He's mute. He doesn't say a word. They go to speak to
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis' character. Yeah, Judith something.
They never mention it really. Like, they never really say her name.
And they try to interview her, but instead of talking about the murders itself, they talk about how it affects her life, and she obviously wasn't having it, so she just took the money that they offered her to go in there.
$3,000.
And she gave it to her granddaughter. And that's how the family, that timeline breaks off, and we're passing the torch to the new generation that's going to carry over, that's supposed to carry over the trilogy, even though Jamie Lee's still going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
And that family's frayed because of the grandma.
But everyone thinks she's a psycho.
Yeah, they don't take her seriously.
Yeah, even though he kills 5 people, all of her friends.
The mom's only worried about how the grandma tormented her when they were growing up, so she didn't want nothing to do with it.
The granddaughter wants to be a part. Like, she kind of hey, grandma's not that crazy.
Grab money. I'd be cool with grandma. She hooked me up with $3 or $4 grand to go to Mexico.
Yeah. So Michael somehow finds the podcasters.
Yeah.
Kills them both.
Kills everyone in the gas station.
That too, yeah. So by this time, he's killed a cop at the bus.
Yeah.
At least the bus driver.
Yeah.
The kid.
Oh, the stupid kid. 2 rules. Carl, stay in the house. Rule number 2, Carl didn't stay in the house.
And then his dad, right? So that's like 5. And then 2 podcasters. So at this point, and the 2 people in the gas station.
Yeah.
So he's killed at least
3 because he beat up somebody in the parking lot. The chick in the God bus, in the God van.
He killed her?
Yeah, in the rearview mirror, he's like punching down on somebody outside in the gas station.
Oh, I thought that was the guy that he was killing in the gas station.
No, that was somebody else.
Oh.
So there's somebody in the garage, somebody in the front desk, and then churchy woman outside in the van.
Oh, and then the 2 podcasters.
Yeah,
so he's killed at least 10 people.
Yeah,
already before he even gets to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So of course it's on Halloween night. Their granddaughter is at a school party.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Jamie Lee Curtis finds out that he's escaped, and so she's going to get her daughter and granddaughter, and not so much the dad because
that's a bit of a pussy.
Yeah.
But I can't understand if this is 2016. Why no Facebook? Why no Twitter? Why no Snap? Why not
in general?
CNN. There's not 18 different pop-ups going on from Apple News on your phone saying, "Hey, serial killer out in the loose."
Be a serial killer.
If you live in this little town, in the middle of nowhere.
This is one thing that I mentioned to you, but I want to bring it up. If you lived in a neighborhood, right, and somebody,
it's claim to fame is somebody died there.
Yeah, but like you would not, and then you were the one that was getting attacked. You would not stay in that neighborhood, right? Like she moves away, but then the daughter stays and has a family there. It's like, no, you're moving to another state, another city, whatever, regardless. A whole bunch of people die.
Mm-hmm. No, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
I'd be gone. I'd take what the mom taught me and I'd build my own little like cabin in the beach that's like death proof.
You'd go to the beach?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I'd always have the water behind me. So I always have everyone else to look at.
Unless you got a boat.
Oh, God damn it.
Michael can't drive a boat. He can drive a car.
Well, you row a boat. Nah,
you can drive a boat, you little fucking whatever.
But you can go out to sea and leave everybody behind.
True.
In an emergency, right. Yeah.
So what happens next?
So fucking Mike goes into the neighborhood and just starts offing people. He spares the baby, which I have no understanding why.
I'm sure
there has to be maybe that gets built up later on, but there has to be something.
The baby that in 30 years, the baby that never you killed my mom.
Well, not that. Like if he spares another kid, like there has to be, because if you think about it, well, he killed the dumbass kid in the truck, but that kid was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
The baby's the baby. The little black kid in the house that when the babysitter died,
he's smart. He got out,
but he saw him in there.
True.
And he didn't bother to kill the kid either. So as long as the kids don't attack him, I'm assuming that's like the kryptonite. Maybe.
I'm guessing he was the same age as Michael when Michael was a kid when he killed him. So he might have a thing like that.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of, as fucked up as it is in his head, there has to be some kind of moral code that he goes by. Where no kids, no pets, or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
You would think a serial killer leaves no life behind. If a serial or whatever life crosses a serial killer, a serial killer kills it. But so there has to be a reason why.
But I feel like every serial killer maybe has a code. You're right.
Yeah.
And then the typical girl babysitting. Bringing over her boyfriend to she's gonna bring the abracadabra.
Oh yeah,
is that what he said? We're gonna bring the abracadabra,
the Walla Walla,
Yeah. And so of course they're gonna die.
Yeah.
But there's no sex in this movie. No teen sex in this movie. No side boob. No front boob.
Couple of callbacks. The one babysitter was in the kid's bedroom and she was under the sheet with the holes poked in from the original movie, which I got that reference, Captain America gift. And then the other kid that was stabbed against the wall and he's hanging on the wall, but he was stabbed through the throat and had a longer butcher knife. Yeah, geometrically, there's a possibility you can get away with that.
Yeah.
Let me bring out the fucking tape measure.
Still a little questionable on that one.
And so by now people know he's out there.
Yeah. And so the cops are there. Jamie Lee Curtis has got her family. They're all about to go, but they can't find the granddaughter because her shitty boyfriend
threw her phone in like the pudding.
Yeah, which was
weird.
What
kind of high school party has fucking pudding?
Yeah.
There has to be some PCP in there or something to make that thing delicious.
So she doesn't have a phone, so she's walking home with
the gay friend, which the gay friend suddenly wanted to become straight.
Yeah.
It's like, I got mixed signals. Like, no, bitch, nobody likes you.
Yeah. He dies.
And he dies, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just cut right here. Somebody in the next movie or by the end of this trilogy, because there's a third one coming, has to explain where he gets his superpowers from, or his Undertaker abilities, because no normal human does what he's done. He, like, skirts around time. He hides in the shadows. Nobody notices he's there. He has the ability to turn sensors on and off without him.
They're motion censored.
The motion sensors were on, and he was standing still, and then he moved, and the motion sensors turned off, and they don't work that way.
You're right.
They don't work that way.
You're right.
How does he have the superhuman ability to lift people? And like, is he like a former chiropractor? He like knows which part of the neck to pop. So like, click,
he's just got fucking crazy strength.
Oh, so you can, like, I'm gonna lay down and you can, like, with one thrust, you're gonna smash my brains in like Glenn from The Walking Dead. No, there has to be some kind of superpower he's been doing.
I don't know.
He gets his hand shot off. He don't scream. Look, he gets stabbed. He don't scream.
It's a movie.
He gets shot in the shoulder. He don't scream.
It's a movie. Okay.
He gets burned alive, and they still don't show him dead.
Well. You've seen the trailer, so you know he's not dead.
Obviously,
spoiler alert.
Jamie Lee Curtis is training so long to kill this guy, and it only takes 3 movies, and even then we don't know. It's gonna be some meta shit where like fucking Michael Myers was Jamie Lee Curtis the entire time.
Fuck.
No, the typical.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. All right, so they made
and her grandkids got a Michael Myers mask. Hey, mom, it's Halloween, and she has no idea what it is.
No,
and it's the whole thing. Oh, I ruined it.
Guys, come and snap my neck, please, please. I don't want to see this. So they end up at the house,
the compound.
The compound. It's the final showdown.
Oh, wrong.
The cool things about the thing I liked about the house was she had it all set up where when she swept the room, if he wasn't in that room, she closed it. Yeah. And she had a shutter that came down and closed it. So that way he wasn't going in there, he wasn't coming out. If he wasn't there, yeah. So she goes through all the rooms.
And then the last room is the one that has no lights.
Yeah, and mannequins.
Yeah, replacement mannequins for her target practice outside, I bet.
Yeah, which is just like
weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's just set up. It's obviously set up. Then they fight. He does get his fingers shot off, which was it was a cool scene to see him getting blown off. And he did kind of like squirm. He didn't like keep fighting. He pulled out.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Whatever. No, not even going there.
Break my neck, please.
They open up. They have like an underground bunker.
Yeah.
That's almost.
Like the kitchen counter goes.
Yeah, it
turns and the stairwell goes down.
It looks like a safe room.
Yeah.
Until they get Michael in there, and it turns out it wasn't a safe room.
It's a furnace.
It's a furnace prison kind of trap. Michael's in there. He gets set on fire. They all run away.
The room gets set on fire that he's in.
Well, I mean, he's getting on fire. There's no way he can't not catch fire.
Well, we're having a sequel.
I know.
There's one more after that.
Well, yeah, they all escape. And
they run to the side of the street. Please help! And they all jump in the back of a truck. They're all gone. The three women. The three generations of
Yeah, just leaving the house on fire with Michael trapped in this room.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the end of the movie.
And that would be the last one, but of course the new one's coming out on October 16th, which is it's this Friday, but yeah, I'll be putting that on this Friday.
The other great callback was
actually it's going to be out when this episode airs.
Yeah.
So when before you go watch that movie, watch this
and then watch that.
And then go watch that, which is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. The other callback that I liked, my complaint from the original movie was when Michael fell out the window and landed in the front yard, and then everybody turned their head away for a few seconds, then they turned back and Michael's gone.
They did it.
She did it. Jamie Lee Curtis got thrown over the balcony onto the grass, and then Michael Myers cocked his head for just a quick second, and then when he turned back around, she was gone. Kind of like that.
Also, her hiding in the closet.
Yeah,
and they played it where he might have been hiding in the closet, which is another callback. I like that. Favorite part could be favorite kill, could just be in general favorite part of the movie. Got one? Before you say it, I will say I wasn't expecting you to give it a 10 out of 10, but I could tell that you were actually into this movie because I
was picking out a shit ton of flaws.
Yeah,
and there's parts that remind. I know I've said this before. There's parts that remind me of the Geico commercial where the whole crowd is like, why can't we just hide in the garage with the chainsaws?
Yeah.
What about the moving car?
Why can't we get in the car? No.
Yeah, so the killer's like,
I could tell you were getting into it because you were like, you put your chair down, you were getting closer, you were yelling, you were saying shit.
Talking a bunch of smack.
Yeah. Like, I would have done this. Like, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Not in flip-flops.
But you got a favorite kill, favorite scene?
Oh. I think the moment where the safe house turned into a crematorium. So he broke the thing open. All right, so it's useless.
Yeah.
So when they were getting out, I was like, so they can't trap him in there because he broke the thing. So when she started pulling all the levers and then all the fucking swords came, I was like, this bitch planned everything.
Yeah. She fucking set it up.
And and then I was like, holy crap, set up the whole that was ingenious. That's like a Final Destination, but backwards. Like you made that happen, not that shit happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I just watched Final Destination 3 again.
I don't even remember 3.
Roller Coaster.
Oh.
Roller Coaster one's the best one.
Oh. I guess.
Well, I mean, apart from the original.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my favorite moment. Yeah.
Like I said before, I saw this movie in the theaters.
But you only saw the movie once in total, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there was a lot of things that I forgot. But I remember sitting in the theater and it was during the day. It was a day movie. There was like three or four of us. I can't remember. And I remember like watching the movie and being like saying the same shit, like, "Oh, it's fucking stupid," because like certain things are dumb. But as soon as she put the bars, she started moving the bars and they closed on him. I was like, "Oh!" And I think I audibly was in the crowd going, "Oh shit!" Like I was one of those dudes. And one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie, and it's not a lot, but when he just puts his hand over the cubicle and he just drops the teeth.
Oh yeah.
And the girl's like, "What is this?" She's like, "Oh, is that teeth?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, I just fucking smashed the fuck out of this guy's face. I'm gonna scoop up his teeth and just drop them on top of
I bring you bloody tidings from
the guy that, he just has the teeth. He has all the teeth. And I like to call back to her putting the ghost sheet, having the eyes cut out, where you like, oh, it could be Jason because it was Jason, or it could have been Michael because it was Michael in the last one. It could be Jason. We might, who knows? And and then seeing that reveal of it's like, oh, it's not a safe home. It's like it's not a safe house. It's a cage or whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I gave it a 10. What do you give it?
Ooh. I'd probably give it like a 9.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't know.
I think that's the first 2 Friday the 13th movies that we've seen through this because of the show have got me warming up to like
scary movies.
Not that I'm afraid of watching scary movies. Yeah, it's just a taste.
But
I'm not a big fan. I don't want to say I'm not a big fan, but it's like the last genre I would look for if I want to be like, hey, I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, no, I get it. And a lot of those movies, even though they're thrillers and slasher flicks where it's the same kind of concept, it's like bad guy does this, kills this. There's side boob, there's sex scenes, there's teens. But if you look at 3 of these movies, which we haven't gotten to Nightmare on Elm Street yet, Paisley, chill out. Chill out. We're not playing right now. Go on. If you look at Friday the 13th, Halloween, and then Nightmare on Elm Street, those are 3 of the most iconic series of movies, but they're all completely different, even though they're
the same concept.
Yeah, even though they're
stalker.
Killer. Stalker kind of killer. But the Friday the 13th or the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff is cool as shit.
Yeah,
I think you might like those ones.
Jason's straight to the point. Michael Myers is a bit more methodical.
Yeah,
and just judging by the trailers and clips I've seen of the past movies, Freddy's got the charisma. He's got the personality. Yeah.
Freddy shines where everyone else is in the background because like he's funny, not like in a comic way.
I know I know random fact that in one of the later movies he like shows up in a video game. Like the kids wake up the kids are in a dream and they're actually in the video game and Freddy's in the game and he killed. I'm kind of looking forward to eventually pulling out that first Nightmare just to see what it's
in the movie like before. So it's super fresh in my mind. One thing you noticed was the music.
Yes, there's like different variations to the original theme.
So in the original 1978 version, it was just the same, almost the same song,
piano, the same chords, same notes,
and you're just kind of makes it. It's an older movie, so your
expectations are low. You don't need a lot of arrangement,
and so like watching it. And it's old, and there's the sound's different, and it's quieter because it's like those 70s movies and 80s movies, like the quality's not there.
It's setting mood.
And then listening to the same, just like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fall asleep. Where this one,
almost like fucking, almost like The Shining. The Shining, some of that music, it strikes the chords where they do it so. I feel like they did it so many times that it was starting to catch me like that.
So this one, it had the classic song, but it also had like a one with a deeper bass, with like maybe like a techno version.
They had a small beat in the background to add tempo. Yeah. And another one had like orchestra notes in the background to like emphasize the notes that were the piano.
And it wasn't consistent. It was like,
and then
really only when he showed up. But it was. I thought this one. I think the music was far superior in this one, where it's like it fit better than just like, oh, this is scary. Let's just do this whole thing. You know, you're just like, God, because it's just once you get to that rhythm, it's just like you just kind of fall asleep.
It's hypnotic almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did like the fact that they kind of switched up the sound of the soundtrack to this one. All right. Any other comments about this movie?
For now, I think that's it. I'm coming out. I'm on a crash now, so I'm mellowing out a little bit. The rush is almost gone. Yeah.
So
ready for nap time.
So we do have Expendables that we're gonna watch
sometime in November, because we're watching So Halloween Kills this weekend.
Yeah, at some point this weekend we're gonna go watch Halloween Kills, which is the new version.
The
one we just watched. So it was supposed to come out last year. I'm excited.
I am too.
Because now that it's fresh in my mind what I just watched. Now I'm like, ooh, where do they go from here? Obviously, he escapes. If you know, there's a fucking he's in the trailer.
Yeah,
the movie's not just gonna be them about how they killed him, and he's coming back.
And their mourning is lost.
Before we move on, when I went and saw this movie in 2018, I went with a couple of friends. We were in the movie theater. We got the very back row, right? And that's kind of like when they started bringing out, you got the fancy recliner chairs. And so the chair goes back a little bit so you're comfortable. The very back row, there's nobody behind you, right? You're in the very back row. There was people sitting all the way in the corner. Me and my friends were kind of in the middle. There was people all the way to the other side. At some point during the movie, they got a phone call. Like their phone lit up. And instead of just going down the stairs, they decided to go behind the chairs, which was this much room.
What?
Right? And so I was just watching the movie, and just as I think it was like one of the darker scenes or when he was out, and I'm watching it, and I just out of my corner of my eye, I just saw this figure just go, and I was like, what? I did that. I was like, oh, like it gave me the heebie-jeebies. Behind us instead of walking in front of us to get down. But this much gap, like they didn't bump my seat. The fact that it's this movie
at that time,
and like I'm watching the movie and there's shit going on and the lights, and then I just see right in the peripheral just person walk behind me. I was like, oh, I was like, man, I'm just like, oh, I just had the heebie-jeebies all over, man.
I'm gonna try to do that to you at the theater this weekend.
Nah, can't get me.
See, your neighbor just got you before we started watching the movie.
I did.
I saw you.
I didn't. It's all bullshit. Nobody fucking know. All right. So you gave it a 10.
I gave it a 10. You gave it a 9.
You're going into Halloween Kills with
some anticipation.
Stupid expectation. So the only way forward is down now on this one. So we'll see. So we're gonna record. We're gonna go watch it this weekend. We'll have that one out in a couple of weeks. And
possibly then, on a Halloween.
Yeah, we'll probably release it Halloween-ish time, maybe that Friday before. November, we're talking about doing music.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I noticed White Rabbit downloaded.
Probably.
But I'm gonna pick the one album that I have, and I'm gonna
drinking right now.
It's been a long week. The alcohol is just gonna
better. Fair. Don't worry. I still don't have an outro.
so this is how we're ending the episode.
Yeah.
Stay thirsty, my friends. That's the shitty.
Paisley, do you have anything to say? No, I guess not.
I guess not.
So check out Halloween Kills. Comes out October 16th, which is the day that I'll be releasing this. So
October 15th.
Whatever. Bye.
Later. Whew.